Red Bull is not going to win the championship in 2021, and here is why. Welcome back to the channel. I am Greg Allen F1, and today I want to take a look at Red Bull versus Mercedes and why I don't think Red Bull is going to win the championship in 2021. Let me get started here. So first, Red Bull's practice and testing looked fantastic. Mercedes left a lot to be desired, and all the speculations are starting. Is this the year that Red Bull finally beats Mercedes and puts it to the test of whether or not Mercedes can defend the championship? It looks awesome. Checo looked great. Everything looked really fun, and Mercedes definitely had some surprising issues. But let's stop the presses on the Red Bull crowning them champions before the season even starts. This is Mercedes that we're talking about, everyone. And does anyone actually think that come FP1 on Friday that Mercedes is not going to be ready? Let's get into that, okay? So what I've done here in this board is I have Red Bull versus Mercedes 2017 through 2020, and let's actually go through how far off Red Bull really is and how much ground they really need to make up if they actually want to challenge Mercedes in 2021 for the Constructors' Championship. First off, driver lineups. In those 4 years, Red Bull has had a massive amount of drivers come through. So Verstappen has been the one steady, consistent person, but we also had Daniel Ricciardo in 2017 and 2018, of course. In 2019, we had a mix of Gasly and Albon. 2020 is Alex Albon, and of course, this year we have Checo Perez in there. So he could be the difference maker, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, ever since 2016 and Nico Rosberg moving on, we've had Valtteri Bottas and, of course, Lewis, maybe the greatest of all time. This lineup has been extremely consistent for Mercedes. Let's get into the numbers. 2017, of course, it was Verstappen and Ricciardo at this point at Red Bull. 368 points, 3 wins, 13 podiums for a really solid third place. By comparison, Mercedes has 668 points, 12 wins, 26 podiums, and of course they win the championship that year. So 2018, things get a little bit better for Red Bull. 419 points, 4 wins this time, 13 podiums again, and again they finished third. In 2018, 655 points for Mercedes, 11 wins, 25 podiums. They win the championship again. Lewis is on his run right now, winning all these championships. And Valtteri Bottas is doing his part and helping them secure the Constructors' Championship every year. It's not really close. 2019, of course, Red Bull's going to take a step back here. This is the whole Albon-Gasly saga beginning to play out. 417 points, 3 wins only, all by Verstappen at this point. 9 podiums, so the podiums go down because Gasly and Albon couldn't podium. And third in the standings. Meanwhile, Mercedes goes off. 739 points, 15 wins, 32 podiums, and of course Lewis wins the championship again, and this time it wasn't close at all. 2019 was domination in the sport that we may not see again for a long time, or maybe this year, we'll see. 2020, Red Bull's now really feeling the effects of not having a good second driver. So in 2020, we have 319 points, just the 2 wins for Max Verstappen, 13 podiums. They finished second in the standings, so everything goes down for them, except for podiums, of course. Everything goes down for them, but they still manage to go up because, of course, Ferrari falls off the face of the earth with their performance last year. Mercedes, though, also sees a big drop-off. 573 points, 13 wins, so the wins are right where they normally are. 25 podiums, which is in line with their average mostly. And of course, they win the championship. The points are down because the midfield in Formula One has improved. And as a fan, that's a fantastic thing. The midfield getting better is great for everyone, and it's been honestly the more enjoyable parts to watch of Formula One recently. Renault improved last year, McLaren improved last year. Obviously, the racing points really improved last year. AlphaTauri had a win, so they were definitely up. And I think that midfield's going to get even tighter this year. But I also think that's why you're not going to see a massive difference. So what did I do? I had some fun with this. That's what the pink line is here. I subtracted Alex Albon from all the standings in 2020, and I put in Checo. So Checo in a racing point, pretend he put Red Bull colors on it last year. What would it have looked like if you take out Albon's stat line and put in Checo? Well, Red Bull would have finished with 339 points. They would have 3 wins instead of 2, 13 podiums. That doesn't change. And they would still have finished second. Now, it is important to note that Checo missed a few races due to COVID protocols and testing positive. So a couple more points and probably another podium in there. I think Nico Hulkenberg showed that car with its normal driver in there probably would have gotten a podium. Hulkenberg was close himself. But that said, the point of this, it wouldn't have been that much closer. And when we look at the totals, going back and forth here, points 1,523 for Red Bull versus 2,635 for Mercedes. It's not doubling the points, but it's significant. It's over 1,000 points more that Mercedes is scoring over Red Bull over the last 4 years. 51 wins to 12 for Red Bull. Way more than doubling the amount of wins. I mean, almost tripling it, really. It's way out of control in disparity there. And that just shows people give Valtteri Bottas a hard time, but he wins a lot too. He wins 3-4 races a year, and that matters a lot when Red Bull can't even have their second driver on the podium most of the time. Podiums, 108 to 48, so they more than double Red Bull's podiums. Now, again, you can make the argument that the Albon-Gasly saga has hurt them, but has it really? They had 13 podiums last year, and with Daniel Ricciardo, who is a more than capable driver, we all think he's one of the best in Formula 1, 13 and 13. So, not a great look there. And of course, standings-wise, they have an average standing over the last 4 years of 2.75, with that 1 second in there, versus obviously the 1.0 for Mercedes. Ferrari dropping off might not be the huge advantage for Red Bull. It makes them look better that they got a second there, but I think Red Bull would actually have more of a chance if there was a third team that was close to taking some of those wins away. If Mercedes keeps putting up 13, 15, and double-digit wins, I don't think Red Bull gets there. And here's why. Red Bull is struggling just to score 5 wins in a season. 5. That's it. It would be impressive if they got to that. They're at 3. The closest they got was 4. And that's the last time 2 drivers for Red Bull won, by the way. 3, 2, and they would have had 3 last year if Checo was in the car, of course. But 2 last year, because Albon was never close to winning a race, really. Except for maybe the first one. Lewis had something to say. Meanwhile, Mercedes is double-digiting wins every single year. I can't stress how important that is and how far off Red Bull really is from that. They're not even close. And I think for them to have any chance in the world this year, they need to get to at least 6 wins, which means Checo is going to have to win. I do think he will. I think Checo is good enough. But Checo's going to have to win, and probably a couple of times, and Max Verstappen's going to have to double his wins from last year at least. I think that Checo winning twice and Verstappen winning 4 is the bare minimum, the absolute baseline for Red Bull to have a chance of actually beating Mercedes this year. Yes, Mercedes looked uncomfortable in testing. Yes, Lewis had issues with his seats. And yes, they had some things that were a little bit different than last year that they're trying out. This is Mercedes, though, and I look at the stats, I look at the team, and the lineups, not much has changed from last year. The cars aren't that different from last year. With the exception of McLaren on the field, they seem to have totally rebuilt their car. But everyone else, the cars aren't that much different. And yeah, Red Bull has the speed to be close in a lot of weeks. Verstappen was excited when he split the Mercedes cars last year. But they're not really that close. They really are not. They're way off from the constructors. And I don't think that Verstappen or Perez is going to be challenging for a driver championship this year. At best, maybe they can upset for second if Bottas has some issues this year. But I really just don't see it. Next year's a totally different thing. We got new cars next year. Who knows what's going to happen there. This year, I just don't see it. They're way off on all of the stat lines. And I think it would be a huge successful year for Red Bull if they got the 6 wins and if Checo gets a few of those. We just don't know if that's going to happen. And I think the spotlight now is going to be on Red Bull like crazy this year with Perez, because now we're going to get the answer. Was it the second driver in that car that couldn't handle the Red Bull, or was Red Bull just designing cars for Verstappen and really hurting themselves in the Constructors' Championship by doing that? Because no one can say that Sergio Perez is not a good enough driver to drive a Red Bull. And if he struggles with that car, there's a much bigger issue at Red Bull than a second driver. He's not some young driver who's cracking under the pressure of Red Bull. He's shown that he can handle pressure. He's a veteran driver, a skilled driver, and if he's not performing at Red Bull, they got to go back to the drawing board, which they're going to have to do next year for the new car anyway. But we're gonna get an answer, in my opinion, to that. So no, Red Bull's not going to win the championship this year. Of course, I hope I'm wrong, by the way. That would be fantastic if I am. But I look at these numbers, and way too much ground for Red Bull to actually make up. And I honestly think not having a third team really challenging week in and week out is also going to hurt their chances. I think there's a better chance if more of the Mercedes wins are getting taken away from another team. I think if Red Bull got the 6 wins and another team was able to win 2 or 3 races in there, consistently. That might take away some of the wins from Lewis and from Valtteri. But the way things are shaping up and the way I look at the last 4 years, this is going to be Mercedes runaway for at least one more year. I think next year things could change greatly. But this year, Red Bull's going to be more fun. I think Checo's going to win. I think Verstappen will win more than he did last year. They're going to get a little bit closer. The pressure is going to be a little bit more on Mercedes. But they're not going to win the title. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I completely wrong on this one? Is this the year? Maybe you think Sergio Perez wins the championship. How cool would that be? And I'd be the first person, by the way, going to that championship parade. That would be so cool. But let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. If you like my content, consider giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.